Everyone's alive. I'm not okay. Okay, it should kind of go without saying, but if you haven't seen Endgame, don't watch this video. I'm gonna literally be spoiling the entire movie. Don't watch this video. See you later if you haven't seen Endgame. Bye. Endgame. Let's talk about Endgame. The end of a series shouldn't ruin someone this much. I have finished a lot of series. I finished countless movie series, countless book series, countless TV show series, and nothing has affected me as much as this movie has. Literally ripped my soul out of my body. When someone asks me how Endgame was, I immediately kind of just make this face. How does one put that into words, you might ask? Well, I am going to attempt to do that in this video. I'm going to split this up into like individual characters and just hope that it encompasses the entire movie and covers everything. And if not, I'll just randomly start bursting things that I really loved at the end. Let's start with Bruce because he's probably got the least that I want to say about it. And it is that I agree with Valkyrie in that I like him each of the other ways. In this movie, he gets like, not stuck, but like he's in this like halfway point between Bruce and Hulk. And it made me more uncomfortable than it should have. Yeah, I preferred him either of the other ways, and I think that he should have just like been able to do it easily, like transitioning. But you know what, if he's happy, I'm happy. Like, he deserves the world. He is a precious boy. I'm just glad that in this movie he was able to be a bigger part of the storyline rather than just being either Banner, who was mostly just Tony's assistant with big brains, or Hulk, which was just the muscles. Like, I'm glad that he was able to be both in this. I liked his character in this movie, okay? Let's just leave it at that. Thor! I'm not happy. I like the whole concept of him being who he is and not who he's supposed to be. However, the beer gut joke went on way too long, and I'm talking 3 hours too long. I really wanted him to lose the weight that he gained in this movie because, like, I don't know, it just wasn't funny after a while, and I missed the Thor that we know. He would have looked a lot more intimidating if he didn't have a beer gut bigger than my future. Just saying. I loved, absolutely adored his conversation with his mother when he went back to Asgard, like with Rocket. Oh my goodness. That was every single thing that I've ever wanted. And him going off with Rocket and like the Asgardians of the Galaxy back together at the end was perfect, and I'm really excited to see him lose that beer gut. Nat. This death was beautiful. It was perfection at its finest. Let me just say that. This is when I started crying in Endgame, and I basically didn't stop until the end of Endgame. But she was meant to die from the start, and this was the best possible way that she could have died. You know, like, it was for a cause, it was for something that she truly believed in, and it was for Clint. It makes me emotional because she is just such a strong character. And I'm just glad that her character got an ending that it deserved, instead of this like loosely ended, like, oh, she lived and now she's like kind of happy, but like, where does she go from here kind of thing. Her ledger is finally clean, guys. It was dripping red and now it's clean. This movie objectively was just Clint and Natasha's movie. Moving on to Clint. I both liked and disliked what he became in this movie. He was just a little too edgy for my liking, personally. That's just my opinion. I'm really glad that he got his family back. The movie like opens to him teaching his daughter how to shoot an arrow, and that made me cry from the beginning of the movie. It was everything, right? It was everything. And then, you know, at the end when Laura calls him and he like chokes up on the phone, like, Clint, I just want you to be happy. My son, my child, my boy. I just want you to be happy. Okay. Steve. Where does one begin to talk about Steve Rogers? I have always kind of had a little part of me against Captain America, simply on the merit that I am the biggest Tony Stark fangirl you will ever meet. But I really loved him in this movie. Like, I can't say I didn't really like him in this movie. Like, did you see his ass? It's America's ass. His storyline was beautiful. It was him realizing that healing is easier said than done, and that he needed to do something, and him and Nat were kind of like together on that journey. And his ending, his resolution as opposed to dying, was that he grew old and he went back in time and he got his dance with Peggy. He got his dance with Peggy, okay? And he came back and he gave the shield to Sam, which did make me a little annoyed. Bucky should have gotten that shield, and you cannot tell me otherwise. But Sam got it, and don't get me wrong, I'm still really happy for Sam, and I'm sure he's going to do great things with that shield, and that's why Cap gave it to him. But, you know, like, he should have gotten the shield, I'm just saying. So many Tony and Cap moments of like you know, do you trust me? And then a really long dramatic pause, and then an I do, and like they basically got married. Basically, that's what just happened. And everything turned out pretty okay for him. Even though I am biased, he has been through a lot of shit. I'm glad that he got to grow old with the love of his life. Not the same that can be said about the love of my life. Okay, let's get into Tony Stark, shall we? Okay, here we go. You know when you go to a movie cinema and you see something that's a bit sad, you tear up a little bit and it's like, oh, that's really, really sad. Maybe a couple of tears escape, like 1 or 2, and it's like, it's tasteful crying. That did not happen to me in Endgame. First time I saw it, let me just tell you, I was audibly, loudly, hyperventilatingly crying. I didn't even really see the last 10 minutes of the film because I couldn't see anything because all I could see was my tears. It needed to happen though, which is why it makes me so upset, is that he just spent 10 odd years with the entire team bashing him, giving him so much shit, calling him selfish, calling him conceited, and then he just like died for them. They can all shove that up their asses. His final I am Iron Man ripped my heart out, okay? He deserves an Oscar for that performance. To make that line that dramatic and not cheesy takes a special kind of acting, and Robert Downey Jr. handed it to us on a silver platter. Pepper actually did shit in this movie, which made me very happy. She wasn't useless. That's amazing. Probably the thing that gave me the most chills of happiness and warmed my heart was the fact that he built Pepper the farm and he had a daughter. Now, this is all I have ever wanted for him. Ever since the first Iron Man movie in 2008, all I have ever wanted was for him to have that happiness. And he died! Ugh. I'm not okay. I have to also just quickly talk about his memorial by the lake. Upon first viewing, I didn't really see the scene because, like I said before, I was crying so intensely. One, the little proof that Tony Stark has a heart on the flowers was beautiful. I can't wait till the movie comes out on DVD so that I can screenshot that image and make it like my wallpaper on every single device that I have, and like print it out the sides of my wall and hang it up so that I can just see it all the time, because it is beautiful and everything that like I feel really when I watch any Iron Man movie. Second time watching it, I wasn't crying so much. I actually composed myself up until a certain point where my friend was like, who's this random kid? Wait for it. So I'm just like sitting here, a couple of tasteful tears, crying, you know, just everything's fine. I know what's gonna happen. It's not as overwhelming. And then it pans this kid who's like probably like 14, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, maybe that's just a random filler. And then I look a bit closer and I'm like, no, you're familiar. And oh my god, it was Harley from Iron Man 3. Then I started sobbing all over again, and again did not see the end of the movie. Loki is alive. He gets hold of the Tesseract in when they go back in time and disappears through a portal. Can't wait to see where that goes, because that's very open-ended, and even though this movie was supposed to completely end the saga apart from the like Spider-Man and Black Panther and all that, Loki is gonna show up again, probably in the next Guardians movie, I'm guessing. But does that mean that he doesn't have Loki's memories from like past 2012? Because it's not going to be the same Loki, which is upsetting because the Loki that died was my favorite version of Loki. I have to talk about Pegasus, specifically Valkyrie on Pegasus. She is a true goddess. That woman deserves to rule Asgard. It made me so happy when Thor put her in charge. Nebula's character development. I didn't even know that she had the capability to have character development, and yet here we are. It's at the very end, and Cap's standing there and he's ready to go all alone on the battlefield. And then Sam comes in on the comms and he says, on your left. Enough said about that, because I will cry again. At the very end, when Brie has the gauntlet and she's like, looking almighty, you know, Captain Marvel and shit, and all the girls assemble, Alexa, play God as a woman, because shit. Cat picking up Mjolnir. Now, I have never been in a cinema where there was a collective other than that moment. And you know how Thor's all like, I knew it. That's literally the entire cinema at this point. It was, in fact, glorious. And overall, there were just like so many little references that just brought all 22 movies together. And It honestly just was beautiful. Those are my thoughts on Endgame. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have this exact video kind of in blog form. I've been looking off it for reference for this video. If you are interested in just reading it, check out my blog. It's linked on my channel and probably in the description. We'll see how lazy I am when I upload this video. And I also have a fandom account on Instagram, also linked in the description. I post some pretty cool memes on there, but I will be posting spoiler cover photos, so you will not be spoiled unless you want to. Although if you've watched this far into the video, I'm really hoping that you have watched the movie, because otherwise you've just... what have you done, really? Thank you for watching. I love you 3000, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!